Almost 7 decades after the coronation of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, Charles III was crowned king.
With the king, you get a real sense that this means everything to him.
Tipping forward.
Yes, you have to jam it on, so it has to come down to here first.
Just above your eyebrows.
Here first, and then push down.
The king has been in high-profile public life for a long, long time, but this is the moment when as it were, he takes on literally the whole weight of his office, you know, the weight of that crown. It's not just symbolic, it's actual, it's about the weight of kingship.
This is a chance for the prince to support the king as he prepares for his big day.
I think what struck me particularly is how extraordinarily affectionate they are.
Unseen moments from the coronation were captured by cameras for a 90-minute BBC documentary, Charles III, The Coronation Year.
Looks good.
Let's bring in Royal Editor at the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers, live from East Sussex. Rusty, not since 1969 when Prince Philip gave us a fly-on-the-wall look at royal life have we actually seen behind those palace walls. What did you think of the documentary?
Well, good morning to both of you. Now, if you've got an hour and a half spare, this is definitely worth your time because there's such a unique and amazing insight into not only the coronation, but behind palace walls. What are the relationships like between the main players? I mean, we're given this fascinating sort of trip down memory lane, listening to the king preparing for his coronation day, the time where he was going to realise his destiny. And, you know, talking to Princess Anne, there's sort of the detail that she's discussing about her mother's final moments, that she was worried about passing away in Scotland and the sort of family coming together before she had her final moments. Really, really emotional.
I really like this idea and the fact that they've opened the doors to their life. And we really also see the king's sense of humour come through on this documentary. What does he call his fingers, though? This is a bit weird.
Well, you know what? I mean, I've spent a bit of time with Charles, and sometimes you get the glint in his eye, and he's sort of jokes around with the reporters. But we've all seen his fingers. You know, they are larger than life. It must be said, and he does refer to them as his sausage fingers. So if you can't have a joke at yourself, then you know you're not doing something right, and I think that's good on King Charles for doing that.
Old sausage fingers, they call him, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And look, in some of those scenes, it's just incredible how relaxed the royals and King Charles looked on Coronation Day. It was just keep calm and carry on at its finest, right?
Oh, it certainly was. I mean, you're talking about the weight of expectation to not only the king, the queen, but all the people surrounding them. You know, you're talking about the page boys, the people working at the Royal School of Needlework, the coach drivers, all the people in the congregation. It was such a moment in history, a true privilege to have played a small part in it. But this documentary is absolutely incredible insight into the intricacies of all that planning. And as I said, definitely worth your time.
We also hear a lot about the relationship between, obviously, Queen Camilla and the King, and that's from Queen Camilla's sister, Annabelle. What does she have to say?
Well, it did, you know, it really is personal, this documentary. It's not just sort of one for the ages and the sort of BBC cameras following them around. It gets to the sort of nub of their personalities and the relationship. And Annabelle Elliott talks about their relationship, and she describes Camilla as Charles's rock. And you have to think about what this couple has been through the decades, the sort of tumultuous times to get to where they are. And I think there was a wry smile from both of them when they had the crowns on their head and they finally realised this moment in history had come before them.
Now, Russell, you're talking about relationships there, and the doco really does show King Charles as a warm father, a doting grandfather. How does that contrast with Prince Harry's narrative about his relationship with his dad?
Awkward.
Yeah, well, you know what? I watched this, and I watched it with my family again this evening, and I thought, you know, it's really sad that Harry is just not involved in these huge moments. He doesn't appear at all in the documentary. If you remember, he was in and out in about 24 hours in his Christian Dior suit before jetting off to back off to California. And when you see the sort of interactions between Charles and William and Kate and his grandchildren, it's really, really sweet. And these are, you know, real personal glimpses as to what he is like as a man, not just the king, but the grandfather of the nation, if you will. That's how he likes to be perceived. And it is really warm and touching in those moments. You know, it does sort of fly in the face of what Harry has said, doesn't it?
You really see the contrast, though, between the Netflix documentary that Harry and Megs did compared to this doco, From Hate to Love. Isn't it nice to see? Thanks so much for your time,
Thanks,
Rusty.
Russell.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and... What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?